Hey my lovelies, it's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do this Wednesday's Facebook card reveals for you all. So, if you were drawn to card number 1, we're going into the energy of listen. So I think that we're coming with this card in a few sort of different ways. So listening is about us listening in general to ourselves, the world around us, and being in the flow with choices, with actions, decisions. A lot of people I'm talking to at the moment are really struggling to sort of have this value of listening in terms of respect. So lots of people I'm talking to in readings, there seems to be a real flare up at the moment of like falling out with friends or family members, or real divides within kind of career or business sort of places of work. And it's listening properly, isn't it? Because sometimes when we listen to things, we're so focused in almost our response of what we're going to come back with, what we're going to say, that we're not always actually listening to the words of that person. So I think if there's stuff happening on the practical sort of level, the practical side of life, it's being really open to sort of properly listen, to take that information and to really digest it before maybe we give a response or before we give energy back. It's also coming in quite interesting. I'm getting a lot as well, people saying to me they feel very abandoned by the spirit world. And, you know, it's not just listening out and seeing and looking for things. It's really being in tune. It's really listening to that intuition, that higher power within. I mean, I was talking to a lady yesterday and she says she never ever feels her mum around her from the world of spirit. And I said, I bet you she's working with you already, you're just not listening. And she said, you know, she feels abandoned by her. But there's a song that always comes on randomly when she thinks of her mum. And I said to her, do you not feel that that maybe is the confirmation, that maybe is the way that your mum is working for you spiritually? So you're maybe not seeing her, you're maybe not getting the feathers, you're maybe not having the robins or the butterflies, but this song comes on, and it's quite an obscure song. It wasn't like an obvious song, you know. And I said the fact that that song keeps getting played randomly when you go into places and you've been asking for validation from your mum, that is her way of linking. And I think sometimes it's being open to the way spirit want to connect with us, and it's very independent, it's very different. We're not all going to get the same things. So it is about really listening. You know, when I go into the woods and I sort of have some downtime, it is very powerful for me for sort of topping up and recharging my energy. But when I'm in the woods, the trees are often talking. And when you really sort of feel into that, you can listen and you really feel nature spirits, nature energy. And nature is a really good place to process and make sense of life. And if you're sometimes struggling or not sure who to always talk to, go into the woods, talk to a tree, you know, send the energy out there, because the earth listens, the earth heals, and the earth has the power to sort of help us. With this particular deck, the sort of colours are quite important. So black comes in for mental thoughts and feelings, but also it comes in for protection. So if you think of like crystals that offer protection, black obsidian, black tourmaline, black onyx, smoky quartz, you know, they're all very dark protection stones. So they can help to reflect negativity. So this is sort of wanting to protect you sort of spiritually and psychically and physically from any sort of cross wires or crossfires of energies around the listening energy, you know. And like I say, a lot of the time there's miscommunication, things are getting taken out of context because we're not always having that listening ability. So just be aware of that if it's showing up for you this week, you know. Pay attention, really listen to the words, but listen to the energy attached with the words as well, if that makes any sense. Now then, as we're moving into card number 2, we're going into the energy of share the love. For those of you that caught the guidance reading on Monday, the theme of that was like love abounds, and I really feel like this is an extension from that card on Monday. So share the love to me is all about giving and receiving. Green is the colour of the heart chakra. It is that colour, it is that place of acceptance, that place of complete unconditional love. And it's unconditional love with no agenda, with no hidden catch, with no hidden clause. It's just in that vibration of sharing the love. So this to me is really about giving and receiving, and it can be in a romantic setting. So if some of you are maybe single and wanting to embrace a partner, I think it's definitely the opportunity of that to maybe sort of show up and present itself. It could be if you're already with an existing partner, that you're just getting the opportunity to really enjoy some time and sort of being in that vibration of sharing the love, being in that sort of place of flow with each other. If a relationship has been compromising or hard work or difficult, this is maybe a real reminder to sort of share that love and see if things can be worked upon, and if things can be actually, redirected to come together. And sometimes it's the love from spirit. If you've got like a partner that sort of, has crossed over to the spirit world, it could be sharing the love that way. But I think this is also practically day to day, how we live our life practically with other people that are not connected to us through like a romantic connection. It's just sometimes being good, it's being decent, and it's that whole feeling of leaving people empowered. And sometimes people think, oh, we can't all be love, we can't all be nice, we can't all be kind. But why? Because that's what the energy is screaming for. That's what the earth is needing. The earth wants us to do better, to be better. So if you're investing with people, try and sort of leave them in a positive way. 3 is all about manifesting. It's the energy that you put into something, you will get it back. It will be kind of gifted back to you through your actions, through your choices, through your behaviors. And I just think this is about being decent. It's about being respectful. It's thinking about what we're communicating, how we're saying things before we say them. Is this going to enrich someone's life? Is this going to better someone's life? Or is it going to cause hurt and harm? And if it's going to cause hurt and harm, is it really necessary? So I think it's just being a little bit aware of how we're choosing to show up and how we're choosing to be as well, if you've been drawn to this card. And finally, as we're moving into card number 3, we're going into the energy of detach. So detach, there's a couple of elements to this. Sometimes this card shows if we're going through the process of loss or the process of grief. So maybe some of you have recently found out that there's someone that's transitioned back to the world of spirit. And even though, of course, that's awful and it's very hard as a human person to sort of process that, to accept that sometimes, but it is a gift. To return home to the spirit world, it is a gifting, because that spirit is set free. They're detaching from their physical body that probably may have been suffering from, an illness or something quite heavy or quite aggressive. And it's the freedom, it's the release of stuff. But also with this kind of detach, this could be in a more practical way for you. So if you're up against things that are kind of robbing and compromising your mental health or your general well-being, because again, it's the cycle of black. So this comes in for awareness of mental health, and it comes in a lot for our protection that's needed. It's looking at things, and it might be detaching from situations or people. There might be things that you really love, but they're just not good enough for you, or the pain or the toxic energy that kind of they deliver isn't worth it. We can love people, we can love energy, but it isn't always good for us. It's not always in our best interest. So sometimes we have to set things free. Sometimes we have to walk away from stuff. And even though it's hard and it can be a bit confusing, sometimes it's the kindest thing to ourselves and the other person, So it could be that some of you are having to detach from variations of things around you. It could be a job that's becoming very toxic or draining. It could be living in a family house or home or just a place that just isn't working for you anymore. It could be a relationship that's gone a little bit south and is beyond repair. There's so many things it could be. For some people, this is addictions. It could be that you have a problem with something and you're using a type of substance, an alcohol or food or whatever it might be, an indulgence to avoid something. And maybe it's detaching from that behavior or that pattern and really looking at the truth of where's the shadow work going, where's the healing work going. But the tree here is wanting to ground and root and anchor, and this white dove is all about finding and accepting and welcoming peace into our heart. Sometimes it's detaching from behaviors that we kind of go through or we continue to replay. And obviously, if we keep accepting those things, we're going to get the same outcomes. So sometimes we have to detach and make a change for new energy to sort of show up and come forward. So it is interesting, but yeah, just be aware of this card if you've been drawn to it. So I hope you can make sense of these messages. I'm going to leave their love with you. Keep shining bright. What do I need to let you know about? A couple of cheeky shouts. Not a huge amount still to say, really. So this Sunday, I'm in Martok, fully booked. Thank you very much if you've secured your space to come and see me there. Looking forward to being back at Katrina's hair salon, doing a day of reads. And then on the 30th of August, just a reminder, we have the next sort of night of my shows, which is Frome, Foxy's Den. We're down to the last 3 shows for this year's tour. So we have Frome, Foxy's Den on the 30th of August. We have Brixham Theatre down in Devon on the 25th of October. And then the final show for this year is we're going out in style at the Warehouse Theatre in Ilminster, and that's happening on the 1st of November. And then that is this year's tour wrapped up. It's been amazing. It's been really great fun. I am kind of looking forward to having a bit of a break from touring, I'll be honest, until the next one starts next year. But no, it's been a really, really cool one. So come and support those last 3 shows, buy some tickets. It'd be great to see you, any of those spaces and places. And yeah, I'm going to leave it with you. Have a beautiful week. I hope these messages make a bit of sense for you. Keep shining bright, and I will catch up with you very soon. Take care. Much love. Bye for now.